And we are live. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for showing up. And we have a great guest tonight. It is Austin from FINTASTIC Freaks. And I have followed him for a long time. And he recently reached 1,000 subscribers. And he's working on watch hours now. So you'll be seeing his links. So be sure and check him out. I can't imagine no one is not following him already. And just to make it sound a little sweeter, he's got lots of puffers, like 8 or 9 different kinds now. So check him out. Let's see who's in here and say hellos, and we'll get right into it. And you guys in the chat and the panel, you know the drill. If you've got questions, shout them out. All right, there's Mike's throwing everybody's links before we even got here. Thanks, Mike. And Skillenia, I spoke to him earlier. Bunny Viper, howdy. Petsotics, Diego, Master Aquatics, Eduardo, Petroman, Lefty, welcome. Xanadudu, Petroman again, Lori, Master Fish Gal, DLC Aquatics, my MFTA, Susie, you said, what is that in your chat? That's my Fish Tanks Aquatics. My Fish Tank Aquatic, and it's John.
Okay.
Yeah. There'll be a quiz on that now.
I was saying hi to female furlough in the back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody say hi to my wife.
Is Dory back there? Howdy.
She's doing all the work.
Yeah, I see that. Hey, Geek Boy. Welcome. Bonjour, he says. It's one of about 10 or 12 words I remember from high school French. Bonjour.
Oui, oui.
I used to be able to count to 10, but I can't remember one of the numbers now. I think it's 6. As Dennis Christensen.
Numbers are hard.
Yeah, they are. Freaky Fish Lady. Talking's hard too. Freaky Fish Lady. Holly, welcome. Is there anybody else? I think I'm about to the bottom here. Paul McCarthy. Skull Aquatics. A lot of talking. Scott's. Hey, welcome, Scott. Gosh, I didn't realize we had been talking that long. These guys have been talking in here. Dee Dee. Robert will be back. Don't worry. Robert will be back. He loves him some Dee Dee. Matt. I don't think I said, hey, Matt.
Oh, look at Lucky Smith there. He was saying what I was saying earlier. One more person, you could do a Brady Bunch.
Right?
Great minds think alike there, Lucky.
Lucky Smith's and all up in our heads.
Here's a story.
And there's Skipper saying hello all. I asked him to greet people and he wouldn't do it. GRB, welcome.
Give me 1 second.
I did it 2 streams ago. It's your turn.
I know. Merrick, Ricky De Hoyas. Fish Dreams, Lucky Smith. I finally got down to there. I'm not complaining. It's awesome to have all these people in here. Joseph Stanley. Wow.
Having a full house is always a great problem to have.
It is great.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah Sieber, welcome. Just goes on and on and on. I think everybody's just talking now unless somebody comes in. Monica Lynn, MLT Plants, guys. If you don't know, that's Monica Lynn. Stephen P. Aquatics, and I'm at the bottom. All right. Well, as I was saying, our guest tonight, our special guest, is Austin from FINTASTIC Freaks, and we're about to put him up on the screen. My tank. Susie, you got me, right?
I'm watching.
But if you take me off the
It looks like you got a little ways to go on her yet.
Uh-oh. All right. I'll turn around that way when I take it. Anyway, I'm filling up a 180, guys, and I ran it over the other night, like 50 gallons worth. So let's bring Austin up, and you guys let us know when you have questions, and he's going to give us a tour. Welcome, Austin.
Awesome.
Howdy.
How's it going, everybody?
Doing great here. I wanted to ask you a couple of things just to kind of the common questions that people ask is like, how long you been keeping fish, and how did you get interested in keeping fish?
All right. Well, in terms of keeping fish, I guess in terms of tanks that I've helped keep, that's probably, I guess I can't really pinpoint a year, but my father, once upon a time, liked to keep like a Tetra community tank, and I want to say it was like a 38 or a 35, something around that ballpark. I helped him keep that for a while, and then I think it was about 6th, 7th grade, I got my first tank because my father decided to get another tank, so he gave me the old 38, and then at that point, the Tetras had all died off at that point, and I had some platies in that, and then I had another 10-gallon down below, and I will say at that point in time, I was way less
Believe it
educated
or not, I can hear that over everything in there.
about fish.
Over
At
in
that
the
point,
headphones?
I had a few
Crazy.
baby comet goldfish in that 10-gallon, which I kind of cringe at now when I think about it. But otherwise, the fish getting multiple tanks outside of 2 kind of started about 4 years ago. I had my first place to myself on a 2nd floor apartment of all things. And then once I moved out of there, came to this house, and once I moved in with the wife and all that, she said, you can have as many tanks as you want in the basement as long as nothing comes up the stairs. And
Oh, she's a keeper.
yeah,
I was going to say, that's a
why I
keeper
put a
right
ring on
there.
her finger. We're let's see, it was September 4th, so let's see, shoot, that's already been 4 months. My math is correct. But yeah, she lets me do all this down here too. In fact, she even buys some fish herself. So yeah, like
Oh, that's
when
awesome.
she not only let me have the fish room, but contributed to the hobby. It's like, yep, I'm about to get a nice ring for that hand. I ain't gonna get a better deal than this. But yeah, now we're going. Fast forward to today, we're 26 tanks strong, ranging from 7 gallons to the 240 behind me.
Oh man, wow.
Awesome.
And
What's
that's not
in-
the tanks that I have sitting around yet, but
That's a community tank. I think I remember.
Well, I
the
definitely
240.
see rainbows.
Yeah.
see, I kind of got going on that beginning part. I forgot, what was the second part of the question there?
What got you interested in fish? I think you answered it.
Oh,
And how long?
I guess what I never really pinpointed it on one thing, but I guess in terms of what got me interested in fish, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't mention another person, which my uncle, his name is Shane. He lives up in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota area, and he used to even breed angelfish. And I know sometimes when I say I have 26 tanks, some people are like, "Wow," but he had like, I want to say 40 some tanks. Granted, he didn't have anything like a 125 or a 240, but he still had like 40 breeders, some 55s, even some 75s, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
But he used to breed some angelfish, and he still grows a lot of plants for like fish swaps and all that up there. And whenever I was young and we went up there to visit my aunt and uncle up there in the Twin Cities, I would always go around his basement, which was like 2-3 times the size of what I have right now. And I just always thought, man, this is so cool. Like, I could literally spend the whole trip down here, but I mean, my parents probably wouldn't have thought very good of it, just hanging out with the fish all the time, right with my aunt, uncle, and cousins. But it was always so cool down there, and I was like, it'd be kind of cool to have something. And yeah, again, fast forward, here we are.
Hold on a minute, Austin. Hold on to your seat because I think it throws you back down. Robert came back.
Uh-oh.
I think it slings you back down. Yep. All right, let me bring you back up.
All right.
Welcome back, Robert. He heard me say Dee Dee, didn't I tell you?
She gets me every time.
Sure. So, see, I will say now, if we do a tour, some of the tanks are a little dirty. Well, I'll just not show one tank here because I really got to do some cleaning on it. I meant to do it before me and my wife left to a trip to Wisconsin, but I just never got to it because work gets crazy around this time of year. But obviously, the first tank, 240-gallon tank behind me. In here, we got various rainbows. I guess to name a few, we got Bosemani rainbows, we got Millennium rainbows, turquoise rainbows, Kamaka rainbows. I think I got a couple of Goiter River rainbows in there. Otherwise, roseline sharks. We got various gouramis. Somewhere probably in that log that's behind my chair here. That log right there is a black ghost knife. He's about a foot long now.
Nice.
Yeah, they're outside of puffers. It's probably another one of my weak spots is those black ghost knives. I wish they weren't so. I hear that they're aggressive towards their own species, but I'm thinking if I can find the right one that's about his size, I might try it. But I'm worried then if it doesn't get along, then I'm going to be stuck with it. But
Yeah.
Right.
What's the dimensions of that 240?
It's 6
I
feet.
know nobody else
side
is
to
probably
side,
interested in that, but
let's see,
I
6
am.
feet. That's 72 inches.
72.
It's 2 feet front or in width or front to back. And I believe it's 31 inches tall.
Very cool.
I could be wrong on the height part, but I believe it's 31 inches.
Yeah, in my store, I've got the double deep version of that, which is the 5 foot. It's 5 foot by,
Nice.
oh boy, 5 foot by, I believe it's almost 3 feet. It's very, very pretty.
And the 240 on its own here, I actually used to be a live rock tank for one of my local fish stores, but then somebody brought in an old 300-gallon tank for them, which obviously has even way bigger dimensions than this. But and the store owner, because he knew that I was looking for a big tank to just do a huge rainbow community tank with my black ghost knife, and he said, "Hey, we just got a new live rock tank. Would you be interested in the 240? If you want it, I won't even put it on the floor." And I'm like, "Let's do it." But
Nice.
and then well, I won't say what we paid for, but he gave me a pretty good deal for it, and yeah, it's easily by far the biggest tank I've ever had, at least for now, anyway. I told him, "Hey, if you want to get rid of that 300, let me know."
Sarah Sieber says, "Well, ghost knife seems to be hard to keep. What's your secret?"
Just lots of filtration and lots of places to hide. Mine really likes to. I mean, I every once in a while can see him swimming all about on the floor there, but I have like a handful of different like little cave areas and such where he can hide. Sometimes the log is his favorite, but I got like a little rock cave right here that he likes to hide. Otherwise, there's a little nook by the sponge filter back here behind some of the driftwood. Got some more over there on the other side of the tank. Just lots of places to hide. I usually keep his water 76 degrees or so. I've learned that they like the mid 70s. Anytime I go much higher than that, he kind of pouts a bit. So I try to keep it around the mid 70s. But that's basically the main thing. That and just a very meaty diet. Bloodworms. Sometimes give him some frozen krill. Sometimes back in the day, he'd like to pick off some ghost shrimp. He doesn't do it anymore for some reason. But yeah, just giving him all sorts of a wide variety of diet, which is kind of like what I like to do with my puffers too.
Oh, yeah. That probably contributes to your success. You already got the foods for the puffers, so, yep.
Well, I mean, something that I guess the ghost knife and the puffers both have in common is they're both a scaleless fish. So
Yep.
I guess, yeah, another thing, it's why I'm always like, you know what, unless it's messing with the fish's swim pattern or anything of that, or if it's messing up the biocycle, then in my opinion, it doesn't matter the size of the tank. There's no such thing as too much filtration. I mean, I'm not going to put an FX6 on a 10-gallon tank, but I mean,
Right.
you know, it's like, hey, if it's not messing with the fish's swim pattern, throw it on there. Just more helping to keep that water clean.
Right.
And you did say you were going to walk around and we're going to be able to see Finley?
Oh, yeah. Finley's on the complete other side of the fish room here.
Of course.
But I can-
I love a fajaka, a good fajaka.
Oh, yeah. We'll get him go. All right, I apologize if it's a little rickety-rockety. I'm using my laptop here. I need to start using my phone here now that I got the 1,000 milestone here. But
Nice.
I will say there's a little bit of algae on the glass. I'm a little behind on my scrubbing in her tank. But
It happens to all of us, bro.
Yeah.
there
Oh,
she is,
look at her. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, hey, Finley.
the queen of the fish room, everybody.
And what
Yeah.
size tank is that?
This is a 150-gallon. I think the exact footprint they call it is the 150-gallon fat boy, is what I've been told it's called.
Okay.
It's 4 feet side to side, 2 feet front to back. I would love to get her a 180 though someday.
And she's the only fish in this tank?
She is the only fish in this tank. I put some crayfish and shrimp in there just
For
well,
snack?
I mean, as food, and as you can imagine, it doesn't last very long.
No.
She is a very aggressive eater. She may look very chill right now, but the moment a crayfish or a shrimp would go in there, it's game on.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
She's beautiful.
Austin, how does she feel about your fingers?
She's never gone for my fingers before. There has been.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at
there
that.
you go. You just got a little puffer yawn, ladies and gentlemen.
She's
Believe it or
beautiful.
not, yeah, they do yawn. I was baffled the first time I saw that, but
How long is she now?
she's about 13 inches.
Nice.
Wow. And you have real plants in there?
Yep. She doesn't let them get too long or tall, though. Those are just some young jungle val sprouts, and I think they've adapted to the fact that she doesn't like them getting too tall, because whenever they got too tall, she would always snip them. I always called it like she would go in like a lawnmower mode or something.
Those are Vallisneria? How great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'll be
it-
right back. I can hear. Just keep going, please. I'll be right back.
I had
Yeah,
them in
she looks almost like
angelfish
Sat- or
tanks
it looks
once
like
upon a time, but
Sagittaria.
yep, those are Vallisneria. I think they've just adapted to the fact that she doesn't like them very tall. So I've never seen Vallisneria grow like this though either. It's kind of a unique thing. Only in this tank I've ever seen it like that.
I would love to have fresh plants in my Fahaka tank. I didn't think I could.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I might get away with it is because Finley doesn't like to bury herself in the sand very much, but
Ah.
she likes to blow out these little craters and such, which is why you see this big hill.
Yeah.
And some of the glass even showing there, and she will pout if I put the sand back on top of the glass the rest of the night. So I'm just like, all right, if that's how you want it, Missy, we'll keep it that way. But
It's like she's got her little garden. I love that.
I know, right?
she once upon a time even laid eggs in here, and that's kind of how I figured out it was a female, because for the longest time I always said him, and then my wife and I came back from our honeymoon and from Colorado Springs and Estes Park, and came back and I saw like this yellow stuff on the substrate, which kind of freaked me out because I'm like, oh crap, do I have fungus in here? And then I looked it up, like, no, those are Fahaka puffer eggs.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she's
Unfertile, though,
right in
yeah.
this area here by her little garden.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't get any puffer fry because I don't have a male Fahaka down here. But if she lays again, which supposedly, to what I read, happens about every 6 or so months, to what I understand, I do have a guy that thinks is very certain that he has a male Fahaka, and he said next time she lays eggs to get them on over to his place, and we'll see if he fertilizes them and see if we get lucky.
That'd be neat.
That would be.
It would be nice.
Because aren't almost all Fahakas wild caught?
For the most part, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's just a puffer thing in general. That a lot of them are very much wild caught because they're very difficult to breed and aquaria. Just because, I mean, really, other than a pea puffer, Amazons, or I mean, I guess there's a few exceptions, but
Well, they just beat each other up, man.
yeah, they're just so aggressive. Like the Fahaka here. I mean, I wouldn't dare put any other fish, let alone another Fahaka, with her because she looks very chill right now. But believe me, if I put I put anything in there with her, she becomes a totally different fish. She goes in full attack mode. It's game on.
Wow.
Never
Bob
thought
had
she'd make a
some
150
catfish.
look small, though.
Bob,
I mean, you
keeps
back up a
catfish.
little bit, and yeah, you can still easily see her size.
Wow.
Bob, what type of catfish do you keep with yours?
Oh, they're
What type of catfish?
two. He's asking me what I keep with mine. They're 2 hoplo catfish.
Oh,
Hoplos.
Really?
Yeah, when I first put them in, she was like 8 or 9 inches, and she's over 1 foot too. But anyway, she would nip their fins and stuff. So they learned. She finally left them alone. I mean, she never hurt them, but they don't have any nips or anything now. So yeah, they've been together Oh gosh, 2 years, year and a half.
I really need to scrub off the algae in this tank, though. Like every time I look in here, I feel like it kind of taints her beauty a little bit. But I guess the snails like it, and snails are good for obvious reasons, but
Right.
they're a little small for her. That I don't think that's even be like popcorn comparison to her.
Now, when you try to clean it, do you have to worry about her getting too close?
When she was younger, I kind of had to watch her, but now she's gotten pretty used to my hand. In fact, she kind of like all the rest of the fish just goes to the other side of the tank, and if I bring my scrubber over or the siphon over, she just moseys over to the other side of the tank. Unless I accidentally bump her, then she don't like that.
Oh boy.
She's only tried to get me one time, and I tell you what, I could not get my fingers out of that tank fast enough. I mean, I did. She didn't get me, but her eyes just went flat. She turned around looking right at my hand, and it's like, nope.
It's amazing how fast a pahaka can move too.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're not the fastest, but they can move fast enough. Fast enough to where it's just like, nope, time to go.
She's gorgeous.
We do have another new puffer down here that I've only shown on the channel one time so far. I got to get, once we're done here, I got some new goldfish to add into my 125 here. But let's see here. See if I can find the little guy over here.
What's the smallest tank you have, Austin?
The smallest tank is a 7-gallon where I have a, what kind is he? It's a beta. I think it's a black dragon beta, which is kind of weird because he's mostly white. So he almost should be a white dragon beta. There we go. There's the other little guy behind the guppy grass.
I don't see him yet.
I see him.
Right there, roughly.
Oh, wow, yeah.
What great camo. Wow.
Anybody want to take a guess on what puffer that is?
Is that a figure 8?
Nope.
Ooh, is it a what do they call those?
Dragon?
No, they're
Nope,
the
it's not a dragon.
Is it one of the ones from the Congo? The oh gosh, what do they call them?
I know what it is. Didn't Stingpot have one of those?
Is it a Harry?
Yeah.
Nope, it's not a Harry.
Oh.
It looks like one of the ones that Corey tried to breed, or Aquarium Clock tried to breed like
Those
a
are
year
the
and a half
Congos.
ago. I know that they're like a spotted Congo puffer, but what's the name?
Didn't it
Actually,
start
this
with
isn't
an
even
S,
spotted
like a
Congo
big
puffer.
long
It
S
is-
word?
What if I told you this is a baby Maboo puffer?
Oh, wow.
Really?
Little.
This little guy is only about 3 inches, just shy of it.
Oh my gosh. I've been looking at the rock sitting on the bottom of the tank the whole time. Now I see her at the top, so cute, above the guppy grass. I was like, I don't think that
It's
there's
a
that many-
rock puffer.
Yeah, well,
I got a couple of puffers that look like rocks because they like to bury themselves in the sand. But yeah,
Look at
this is a little baby Maboo puffer. Can you believe that guy will grow over 2.5 to 3 feet?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
enough. That's
adorable.
Wow. And what size tank are you going to put him in?
Well, right now he's just in a 40 breeder. Eventually, once he gets about, I'm thinking about once he reaches about the 6-inch mark, maybe 8. I'm thinking somewhere in that range. I'm gonna put him in this 185-gallon bow over here.
Oh,
That'll be his
Nice.
next
That'll be
grow out tank
amazing.
until I can afford to
Perfect.
build him. I'm thinking of building him a plywood tank because my wife also someday really wants me to get stingrays. But I'm still on the fence about putting a stingray with a Maboo just because they shed those little stingers, and I can just see if I put them in with sand, if one sticks up and gets the puffer just right.
oh boy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see about that, I guess, but
Well, and I don't know if it's the same for freshwater, but in saltwater, you don't put puffers with stingrays because they pick at their discs. They bite chunks off of the.
I've thought about that too, and because I would think like the way their discs move, I could see where that'd be very tempting for a puffer, much like a a reason why I've seen some people get away with it, but like a black ghost knife with a puffer or even a clown knife with a Maboo. And I'm just like, nope. I can just see that's a recipe for disaster, and I don't want to set up my puffer to fail. But
Yeah.
speaking of another puffer, as I'm walking back, see if I can get a good look at him. Since Chattanooga Ed's a Kansas City fan, this is an arrowhead puffer.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice.
I like those.
And because he's an arrowhead puffer, I decided to name him Chief.
Why does he look so angry?
I don't know. Probably because, I don't know. Maybe because the Chiefs didn't live up to expectations this year. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ooh.
we only came in second.
Titans
Overall.
did good tonight, so I'm happy.
And that's the first loser.
But we're going into the playoffs. Well, the Chiefs are not losers whatsoever. They're
I know. I know. Triggered.
Yeah, the Chiefs are good, but as you can see, Chief is not as fond of the camera as some others are. But I'm kind of surprised he's not buried, because usually he likes to bury himself in the sand here. But
Jimmy P says, how big will he get?
how big will an arrowhead get?
I think, yeah.
I believe between 6 to 8 inches is about what they get.
What do arrowheads like to eat?
They're one of those ambush puffers. So, I mean, Chief really prefers a live fed diet, although since live crayfish and ghost shrimp go through the Omaha stores here like hotcakes, I've gotten him trained where he'll accept frozen krill and half clamshells and such, which kind of helps out a little bit. But otherwise, ghost shrimp, he really loves some freshwater crayfish. Like, I used to have a whole bunch of self-cloning crays down here that would breed like rabbits, I guess. But because, well, once you have 12 puffers down here, it's kind of harder to keep that supply.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now, does he have a beak or teeth?
Nope, he has teeth. He has like a lot of other puffers. He has those strong teeth to where, yeah, it's why whenever I try to move the half clamshell or the krill in front of him, because I try to simulate like it's alive for him to still give him a little bit of a thrill of a hunt, so to say. I use a pair of tongs because, no, just like a lot of other puffers, I don't want those teeth getting on my fingers.
Yeah, I've got 2 at the store right now, and one bit me on,
Oh, no.
I guess, last week. I feed him fiddler crabs, and I drop them in there and hold their claw so that he can bite it off of my hand, and he went for my hand instead of the fiddler crab. It was not fun.
Yeah, if I ever feed a puffer like that likes to hang on the substrate, yeah, I just use tongs because I'm just like, the puffer gets you just right. Like this one, I mean, he's about full grown already. He's about 6 inches. And Finley, obviously being as big as she is, it's like, yeah, get you just right. There may not be a guarantee that you get your fingers back.
Wow.
Do they grind their teeth, or do their teeth keep growing, or do you have to worry about it?
They keep growing, not as fast as some, but because the arrowhead puffer's metabolism isn't as fast as like what a figure 8 or Amazon would be, since they like to kind of chill on the substrate. But yep, their teeth continue to grow.
Do they grind them on rocks, or do you have to give them shelled food?
Some kind of depends on the puffer's personality. Some will grind them on rocks, but otherwise, I keep a lot of snails in his tank. But yeah, I guess I don't really have any rocks in there either for him. But I guess that depends on their personality, I guess.
I want one that grinds its teeth.
Over here, we got my trio of Amazon puffers, and apparently I got to scrub off a little algae on this tank. I apologize to people if that makes it a little harder to see. Like I say, since I got back from Wisconsin, and I've kind of been lacking in some of my maintenance as it's showing its ugly head here today. But I need to clean up some of these. But these little guys, when I got them, they were no bigger than pea puffers, and now they're about 3.5, 4 inches now, which they might grow another inch or so. They can sometimes reach up to 6, but I kind of like these guys because of their patterns, like the little yellow and the black on them. That and they're always moving about. I feel like I need to get them a 55 or a 75 someday.
Yeah.
I have to put some of those baby Amazon swords in another tank though soon. Apparently that tank's not doing too bad if we're getting a runner. Speaking of a 55, off the puffers for a little bit. Exodon tetras over here and next door to them. This is probably another fish that I fell for very, very quickly. These little guys are like the Amazons. They're always moving, and I tell you what, you want to see them go crazy, just drop them a cube of brine shrimp or bloodworms, and it's fun to watch them just go.
Okay, I'll ask him, Ed, do you put your hand in there?
You can, but I mean, I guess I have a couple times, haven't got bit yet, but every time I put it in there, I can guarantee you I'm watching them, because usually what happens is one of them tests out what's in the water, and if it's edible, it basically, I don't know what the exact term is, but then basically once they find out it's edible, the rest just come in and just, it's a frenzy.
Yeah.
I haven't had to deal with that yet, but I prefer to keep it that way. They're small enough, though. I don't know if they do too much damage. You'd probably still feel it if they nipped you, but don't know if they do too much damage. But I don't want to experiment to find out.
Hey, Jess, welcome.
I bet it'd feel like ripping off a hangnail.
Oh, shoot. I kind of did my tanks all in a wacky order here, so now I got to remember which ones I've gone to and which ones I haven't. Well, here's another, outside of puffers, this is probably my number 2 weakness right here is angelfish.
Oh, nice.
Got black marbles angelfish. We got a half black angel in here. We got full black angels in here. We got blue diamond platinum angels in here. A couple of blue Philippine angels. Let's see. I think that we got some lavender seal point angels in here. That one right there is a veil tail something. I can't fully remember what he is. And then the little guys, the more torpedo shaped looking fish, are just some Bosemani rainbows.
Can you show the veil tail closer? Oh, no, you're on your laptop. Sorry.
Yep, that guy right there. The one going behind the half black. There we go. I thought maybe a koi, but I don't know.
I don't know. If I had to pick an answer, I'd say a smoke and clam mix, but I don't know.
I don't know if the screen can tell you very much. He's got like yellow on his head. He's got like a little black stripes in his back tail fin, a little stripe down his side by his eye. Otherwise, the rest of his body past that yellow is mostly whitish. But we found him at a fish store in Denver, and they just had him as assorted angelfish. So I'm not fully sure on what his specific species is.
I've got a tank of assorteds. I just would get a little one here and there, different shops, and they're big guys now, and a 40 breeder. Some turned out really beautiful.
Oh yeah, angelfish are. I mean, if it wasn't going to be rainbows in that 240, it probably would have been angels. But I know since angels, usually when they reach maturity and start breeding, they tend to get aggressive. But these guys so far have played nice with each other, so hopefully that continues. Because I think a group of angels in a tank is just, I tell you what, that's sometimes better than watching TV.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I would show you what's down here, but this guy down here really likes to hide. And I'm worried that if I pull, well, I might see if I can figure out where he is at least. Oh, yeah, he's behind that sponge filter there. I'll see if you guys can maybe see him. Otherwise, I guess I can maybe lift the sponge filter if people want to see him that bad. But this is probably one of my more rare puffers down here. The glare is probably pretty nasty on there, too.
What's his name?
This one does not have a name.
What?
This one kind of, I don't know, maybe I should name him Houdini or something. I don't know, because he likes to hide so much or something. Or maybe Seeker, maybe, because I always got to seek where he is. But he's behind this sponge filter here. lift it up gently here so I don't tick him off too much. There he is.
Get out of there.
This is a Mekong river puffer.
Wow.
And I wish he'd go to the side here real quick so you could see the pattern on his side.
Now, which shop do you get most of your puffers from?
Well, the shop in Omaha where I've gotten a lot of them is called FINTASTIC Fish, which is a shop that's given me half my namesake here.
Beautiful.
And the other store, which I've nicknamed also on my channel before as the Source of the Madness, is Fish Freaks. So FINTASTIC Fish and Fish Freaks. You get FINTASTIC Freaks.
Love
Nice.
that.
Now, which one's next to Dave and Buster's? Because that's the one I've been to.
The one by Dave & Buster's is Fish Freaks. That's the Source of the Madness.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, I mean, if I had to suggest only one to somebody that was in the Omaha area, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with any of the four. But that's probably the one I'd say to go to just because it probably has the most inventory of fresh and salt water.
Well, you have the one kind of crappy one in Council Bluffs.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever bought a fish from there. I'll sometimes buy filters because it's like, well, unless you deliberately open the box, you can't screw that up. But
Sorry.
I don't want to talk too much about. I mean, I won't talk too much about that store just because I don't like to belittle stores and all that. But it's gotten better, but not to the point where it's like, nope, I won't buy a fish from there because their water. You just look at it and it's like that's a whole lot of no for a whole lot of reasons.
I completely concur.
All right, little guy, I don't want to drop this on you. Hey, there you go. You might get to see his
Oh,
second.
yeah,
Yeah.
there he goes.
Beautiful.
All you had to do is scare him.
Say, well, I don't want to scare him too much because he has puffed before.
Oh,
And while it's cool to watch at the same time, it can actually really jack up the water because they obviously don't do that unless they're really stressed. So and yeah,
Now, I've got one of those guys at the store, and her name is Mavis the Mekong puffer. And she is in one of our top tanks, and she's about the laziest puffer fish I've ever met in my entire life. Is yours pretty? Does it sit in one spot for a long time?
if he's not either behind this sponge filter here, he'll go under this little tree root thing I got,
Yeah,
or he'll go behind the other sponge filter over there.
that's so
I
interesting.
used to have a little fake driftwood piece here, but he kept nibbling on it one time, and he got a little piece stuck between his teeth one time.
Oh no.
That was the end of having that in there because I had to pull him with a net in there, get my tweezers, and get it out of his teeth. But so we put this little plant in there instead because I didn't want to have to try to deal with that again.
Now, have you ever had a puffer die on you?
A puffer die?
Yeah.
I did, well, one time because of the power surge. I once upon a time had a dragon puffer, and looking back at it, I guess it's kind of my fault because I didn't have a plan for when the power went out. And the power was out for a good 3.5, just shy of 4 hours, I want to say.
Wow.
And the parameters in that tank just went south so fast.
Aw.
And I don't know why, because some of my other puffers tanks, well, they had some bad nitrates and all that. Once I did about a 25 to a third percentage of a water change, they were acting like normal, and all has been good. But
Well, Austin, I wasn't trying to find out why it died. I got a question. When my dragon puffer died, it puffed all up and was huge. Did yours puff up once it died?
oh, okay. Mine didn't. Mine, honestly, at first when I looked in the tank, it looked normal. He looked a little darker at first. Honestly, I didn't realize it was dead until I tried to feed it.
Oh, gosh.
And when I put it in there, I just noticed his eyes weren't moving. And once I swam it in front of it, because usually then he would look right at it. He wouldn't ever take it from me, but he'd get a little excited. And when I noticed that he wasn't moving, I'm like, okay, something's very wrong. But
I was
So,
just
Mr.
wondering
Ed,
if they-
I actually know the answer to that question, why he puffed up when he died. The saltwater puffers, when they die, and this is purely off of saltwater, I don't know if it's the same for freshwater. If they're puffed up when they die, when some fish die, they have open mouths, and that's because of prolonged stress. Like that was the cause of death, was the stress, not the actual thing.
Mhm.
Usually with the saltwater puffers, if they're puffed up when they die, it's the same reason. It's just like a fish with its mouth open. It's because of the stress.
Oh.
Hey, Drunk Fish, thank you for that super chat. Much appreciated. Thank you.
I've never kept a saltwater puffer, so I wouldn't know anything about that. But
That's next, Austin.
oh yeah, it's what was going to go in this 185 because my wife also wants us to get a porcupine puffer someday. But
I
yeah.
love them.
and that was going to
Yes.
be the initial reason for this. But then, yeah, once we got the Maboo puffer, I mean the Maboo puffer honestly is a story all on its own. But then once we got that, it's like, well, now it's going to become the Maboo's next grow out tank before it goes to its actual tank. So here we have a 46 bow front where I got a mated pair of angels. This one up here is a marble. That over here by the Amazon sword, which apparently I need to prune a little bit, is a gold pearl scale.
Ooh.
If he comes up, you might see the shininess of his scales and such. He is a beauty when the light just hits him just right.
And Austin, just to give you an idea of where we're at, we've got about 7 or 8 minutes, it looks like, till Kenny goes live.
Oh, all right. Well, then I better keep this moving along. Another puffer here. This is a Congo puffer. This is another one that typically likes to hang in the sand, but I guess he's feeling more social, which is pretty rare for him.
Have you thought about trying to get more Congos? Because they're supposed to be a community, right?
That's a spotted Congo. The actual Congo puffer here, like the ambush Congo, should be kept by itself because they can be very, very territorial and aggressive. But the spotted Congos just can be put in the community tank.
The show demo, yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
rare one, this over here is another little guy. He's a he does not like the camera, so I'm not gonna bother him.
Oh, we've got 10 minutes. Sorry. Lori's correcting me there.
Say, well, if he doesn't
We're
like
good.
the camera, I'm not gonna bother him because I don't want him to freak out like that.
I like that ship.
Yeah, this is my tiger barb tank.
Oh, wow.
I also got some albino blue-eyed plecos in here, as well as a few petricola cats who like to hide in these little caves and such, sometimes even behind the sponge filter. I have an even bigger pirate ship that I wanted to fit in there, but it's just barely too big. Otherwise, down there, that's the smallest tank that I have right now. This is the black dragon beta, or the white dragon beta, I guess.
Oh, that's the 7-gallon tank.
Yep, this is the 7-gallon. Well, I guess technically it's 6.5, but yep,
All right.
He lives in there by himself with a few snails. Apparently his water level's a little low. I got to fix that. But you do not like that camera, do you, little guy? He is not about it. This is my 125-gallon goldfish tank.
Beautiful.
I want that.
It's one of the very few tanks that I have that has no live plants in it. But
Do you have a polypterus in there with the goldfish?
do I have a what? Excuse me?
A polypterus, a Bashir?
Looks like dojos.
I have a couple of dojo
loaches.
loaches.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Those are the
there's also
colder
an
water.
albino
Yeah.
bristlenose pleco in here somewhere. He might be in one of those little rock caves, though, or he sometimes likes to hide behind that internal canister over there.
It's a real nice setup.
So
Yeah, I love the
Jojo
dragons with them.
go
It
in
gives them that
cold
little
water?
oriental feel.
Yeah, dojos are cold water fish.
Okay, cool.
Say, sometimes the internet steers me wrong, but when I heard earlier that they were saying that they can do cold water as well as warm water, but it's like, well, if they can do cold, cool.
Yeah, I keep them with my goldfish at the store. They do well in cold.
They kind of act as a nice cleanup crew, too. All right, next to the goldfish, we have this 54 corner. You see one of the little guys right there. That's your figure 8 puffer.
Oh,
And
Cuties.
this is a brackish water tank. I have the specific gravity in here at about 1.008. I'm thinking I might bump it up to like 10 or maybe 12 later. But since when I first got them, for about the first 4 or 5 months I had them, they were in pure fresh water. So I'm working them up slowly. There should be 2 more in here, but they might be hiding in our rocks over here somewhere.
and those are Java fern inside your brackish?
Yep, we got Java fern, and the ones there that are covered up in some algae there are some Anubias coffeola.
Ooh.
I might be mispronouncing that. I apologize if I am.
Cophifolia, yeah.
Okay. I was
good
close
one.
then.
I call them the ruffle Anubis. They have the like crinkle cut.
Yeah, because they have those like little ruffle leaves. That's kind of the reason why I like them. They give you that texture. It looks really cool.
It's
when
really
they're
cool.
not coated with algae, which I probably just need to rub off. Like I say, we've been doing a lot of trips, and I've been out of the house a lot lately, so I'm behind on some of my maintenance. But this here is a jewel cichlid. Her name's Juliet, although I've been, I guess I won't say what I sometimes nickname her, but she's proved to be a very cruel mistress because every time I've tried to give her a male in here, and maybe it's because I need to give them a bigger tank. Cichlids are not my area of expertise, but she will always, I've tried a male twice. She's killed them both. So I'm like, all right, no more for you. But
Sometimes they just, you know, don't want nothing to do with it.
Sometimes they're picky.
she's a very feisty female, so no more friends for her.
Maybe you could put her in with Arrowhead and then use that tank for somebody else.
There you go.
I could take a wild guess of some of the nicknames that you call her, though.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Because I probably have some
we'll
of the
probably
same.
get a couple of them right, but I don't want to. The main
No.
one I don't want to say because I don't want to spark controversy or nothing.
I'd say it's probably along the lines of some of the names I give some of my cichlids.
Let's see, down here in this 10 is another one of my beta tanks. Hiding in this barrel here is a black crown tail beta. He's in here with a pandagara that's chilling by the heater over there.
It's great to see the bigger tanks for the betas. It's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
If I can give him a 10-gallon, I'd prefer to give him a 10 just because he used to be in a 20-gallon long, but then I got some Apistos in there, and for about 6 months, they got along beautifully. But then the Apistos started breeding, and they really started to let the beta have it, so I had to...
Oh, yeah.
But fortunately, it's like, well, there's 10 gallons at Walmart for $15. Let's go buy one, set one up, and get them out of there.
Mm-hmm.
We saw 10 gallons for $5 yesterday at the Repticon.
Woo,
Wow.
Ed wouldn't buy me any. I'm like, Ed, I don't have any money.
What, you want me to carry it all the way around the place?
Right?
I was like, if you get out of your wheelchair, we could put a couple there.
Oh,
Right?
Ooh.
Shots
I gotta try to make sure that this lines up just fine. All right, this 20-gallon long here. Got some green spotted puffers. They're still little bitty
Beautiful.
guys. They're only, the smallest one's about 1.5 inches yet. The bigger ones are just barely over 2 inches yet.
Now, how big do they get?
I believe they're another one that can reach about the 6-inch range, I believe.
Gorgeous.
I got another tank already purchased for them. I just got to build a stand and put the sump together for them, and then like the figure 8s, they'll get transferred into a brackish water tank. Although I might start them a little bit higher since they typically tend to tolerate more higher specific gravities than what figure 8s. I guess figure 8s can go, to what I've heard from different sources, can go full marine, but usually like it more on the lighter end of brackish to what I've mostly read. But
Mine are in full salt.
I know they can go, but the green spotteds here I know are even more common, I think, in the full salt there, because these guys really love the higher salinity as they get bigger, which I probably need to do more sooner than later with them.
It's talking some smack. You heard it, Paul. Don't go shopping with Ed. He's rough.
We had so much fun yesterday. It was great.
I know it was.
I wish I would have brought like a little dolly, a portable dolly, because it would have been smart for us to have snagged those.
Yes, I mean I was literally just looking at wholesale prices on 10-gallon tanks. That is more than half of what the wholesale price on 10 gallons are. That's insane.
They had 20 longs for $7.
Oh,
Wow.
20
I
longs
did-
for $7?
I
Yeah.
didn't see that. I would have made you carry those, Ed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would have carried
I would
them.
have
I
had
would
to
have
get me
driven
about
down.
10 of them.
God.
Yeah,
I,
they
think
were,
I might have taken the whole stock if they were $7.
they were on the
okay,
table.
20 longs
kidding.
and 40 breeders are my two favorite tanks.
I'm gonna have to look for that in my next Repticon that comes here.
That's amazing.
It's
Yeah,
a place that was selling lots of cork wood and hides and stuff.
Wow.
Was it any brand that we know, or
It was the
Yeah.
Aqueon, wasn't it? Or
Yeah,
it was Aqueon tanks?
it was.
Oh,
it had the label right on them, yeah.
The 20s were used, but the 10s still had their, dollar per sale stickers and stuff on them.
that is
$1 per
amazing.
gallon sale. I'd have
That
grabbed
is
those.
amazing.
Sorry, Austin.
Oh no, y'all are fine. This is y'all are here too, so by all means. But a few more tanks that we got here. This is my last 10-gallon right here. This is another Beta community tank. Up here is a white crown tail Beta. Whoopsie. In here, he's with a couple of Emperor Tetras, which other than rummy noses might be my favorite kind of Tetra, excluding the Exodon. But obviously can't exactly put an Exodon with too much for obvious reasons. I mean, I guess you could, but it's probably not going to fare too well. But
It's a beautiful betta fish.
Yep. he kind of likes his water on the cooler side too of the tropical side. So since he likes his water a little bit cooler, I called him Frozone.
Oh, I love that.
See, right above him, I think we might be running somewhere up here in this 40-gallon breeder is a tiger knife fish. He's in that log right there. You can kind of see his tail behind the valves and by the sword there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want one of those so bad.
They're beautiful. This is kind of what he likes to do, though. He just likes to chill on that log. He also messed up the grass there, too. He perked it up a little bit, so he made himself another cave.
Huh.
I guess I'll give him an A for creativity, though. He wanted another cave, and
little hobbit
my
hole.
gosh, he made another cave.
Oh,
That's cool.
Let's see. I
Not a
think I
cool.
got two more. Right
Was-
here.
Was that a Harry Potter banner you just went under?
Harry Potter? Oh, no, that's Iowa State over there.
Oh,
My youngest brother and a lot of my family have graduated from Iowa State, so I got a couple of tailgate flags whenever we get a chance to go and watch the football games or anything.
He was hoping they were alumni from Hogwarts.
Gryffindor would be those colors, I believe. Yeah.
I knew it was a fantasy flag of some sort.
uh-oh.
My family's Hawkeyes.
So is
Shots
my
fired.
in-laws, sadly. But let's see here. In this 20-gallon, these ones are kind of hard to get at because staying in front of these two 20-gallons is the 240. And I'll have to back it up here and see what people think. But they call it a Mickey Mouse setup. Once I back up, you might see what I mean. But in this 20-gallon long, I have a trying to make sure that the fish are in the shot. I have the pair of Apistos in here. I forgot what specific kind they are, but the female, gets a very bright yellow with black. And then we got a copper molly in here with a panda cory. And they call that 20 long home. And I believe this over here is the final puffer tank. Well, I guess I got a pea. My pea puffer hex is riddled with algae, so just because that one requires a lot of work right now, the water is fine. Just gotta get rid of some of that algae. I won't show that one, but this one right here, I might have to get a little closer for these guys because these are kind of smaller puffers. But here we go. This will give us a nice little view. These over here are red-eye puffers.
What?
They're also known as a Malabar puffer, and I know some people that can't get like a big tank but want something that gets a little bit bigger than a pea puffer. I always recommend this one. The only problem is they're a little difficult to find, but it's another puffer where you can tell the difference between males and females. This one right here, the bigger one with the wider belly, if you show it a little bit, there you go, maybe. That's a male, and the ones that have the markings on their bellies are the females.
Those are gorgeous. I like those.
They really are.
Yeah, and they only get about 2.5 or so inches fully grown. So a 20 long, I got 4 of them in this 20 long, and that serves them pretty well.
Wow.
The only problem is they're just not very easy to find. I've only seen them in stores other than the time I bought them maybe twice afterwards. They're just not that easy to find.
Paul said if you go back to the Episto tank, he might be able to ID them.
All right. Worth a try.
And it is a little bit after 9, so Daniquin Aquatics is live if anybody wants to go on over there. The link is there.
All right. See if I can set this up here. I can't get too close here, but right there on the Java moss is the pear right there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I have no idea.
I never seen one like that.
I've gotten them I got them in a fish swap, and they had the exact kind on there, but I've already forgotten what they were. It was a pistogramma. I want to say it was something like Gia Fagus or Fagus or something. I swear I'm not trying to say a naughty word here. Something like that. I could be way off, but I want to say it sounded something along that line. So we have the female right there can turn a very vibrant yellow, but the male, for the most part, kind of stays the color. He has a little bit of a bright, vibrant orange in his tail, but
I did a screenshot. I'm going to try to find those guys.
I know I've seen that female before, like with a black belt almost.
Yep. And then, like I say, she turns like a beautiful, beautiful, vibrant yellow, like almost as vibrant of a yellow as like the Labrachromis with the African cichlid and such. Like she sometimes can get that yellow.
Paul says he's never seen an Episto with a forked tail. I don't think I have either. So that's quite unique. Double both those doors. We all know they're there now.
I'm trying to remember where I got, because I know I got these at a fish swap. I want to say it was in Des Moines is where I got these two. And they said they're a mated pair. They've only laid eggs, though, one time. Maybe it's just because they've laid eggs in the copper molly that helps themselves to some caviar, but I'm not sure.
I can't even find anything on Google. I'd like to know what those are for sure. I want some of those.
Yeah, the female especially is gorgeous.
Pretty nice, but the one time they laid eggs, they really roughed up my beta for a while. But they left the copper molly and the panda cory alone, though. As long as he isn't going their little deal there, they kind of dug themselves a little nook under the driftwood and the Java moss there. I think it's their little den or whatever.
Well, I hate to end on such a curious fish like this, but we've lost about half of our people and went to Daniquin. Well, not that many, but went over to Daniquin, and I don't want to go over him. So,
sure,
Austin, we really appreciate it. It sounds like we need to come back again when we don't have to rush. That's what it sounds like.
Well, knowing by then, I'll probably have some new fish to show and all that by then too. I'm always
Okay.
getting new stuff down here all the time.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It was an awesome fish room and tour. I loved it.
Ooh, I might
Loved
have
it.
actually found that epistogramma.
Oh, what is it?
The one that is the closest as far as the female is concerned is the Nij. Ooh, wow. How do I say that? Nijssini. And y'all can look and see if it looks correct. I knew I had seen that black belt before.
Somebody's backstage, but who is it? Oh, Susie.
I pushed a button.
Let's see.
I touched the button.
I'm like, I see all the gang there. Well, which one is it?
The
You probably
Nij-
sent me a message and I didn't see it.
the Nijssini, I think is how you say it.
Is that what that looks like, Furlow?
Yeah, Nijsseni.
ENI or INI? There's two different, I guess.
Yeah, it looks pretty close.
Yeah. Some of the females don't look as close. Like that
Yeah.
middle belt looks very different, varying from fish to fish, like wider and skinnier.
I might have to look back in my one video because I know I said their their scientific name in one of my videos, but I could not tell you which one. You'd have to dig around on my channel to try to find it a little
I
bit.
guess people are going to have to watch all your videos in full.
I mean, hey, that would help me get to the watch
Hey,
hours I need. So I
That'll
mean,
get, that'll
hey,
get your
have
watch
right at
hours.
it.
There you go.
That's one way to do it.
All right. Thank you, Austin, so much.
Yeah, that was
And
awesome.
yep, and we look forward to the next one. And thank you, panel.
Absolutely.
Guys, check out these panelists because every one of them have awesome fish rooms and other pets as well, plants, all kinds of cool things. So check out all these panelists. Their links are out there. And thank you, everybody, for showing up. Thank you for the super chats. And let's head over to Kenny's, please.
Alrighty.
Thanks. Thanks, Austin. Oh, my God. I'm trying to push